Hello everybody and welcome back. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. So today I'm continuing my series where I look for new and unique VR games. These are generally games that are currently in development where developers have reached out to me and said, hey, we want you to check out our game. Now the newest one is for a genre that is completely underrepresented in VR. I grew up playing games like Warcraft and Command & Conquer. The real-time strategy genre was huge when I was a kid, but unfortunately, it's just much less common now, especially in VR. Now, today's game expansion has been sponsored by the developers, but I was just really happy to get my hands on a new real-time strategy title. There are, of course, links and timestamps if you want to skip ahead, but let's start off with the game's basic information. An alpha demo version of expansion is currently available for free on Quest headsets via App Lab. This is a real-time strategy title that has you building up an army and properly maneuvering them in order to overpower your foe. It's playable in both a single-player campaign mode and online PvP. Between matches, you'll unlock units with their own strengths and weaknesses, plus multiple other attributes such as speed, attack rate, health, and different levels of damage between ground and flying units. Some vehicles are more versatile and they're capable of attacking all enemies, while others have been specialized to primarily damage one specific enemy type. Overall, this becomes a fairly strategic combination that not only has you balanced in combat, but also time, resources, and positioning. Now, if you're a classic RTS player like myself, you might find the gameplay here a little bit limiting. There's no base building, resource gathering, or manually controlling of units. Instead, there's predetermined lanes. You'll drop your units on each lane and they'll just walk down. Now, they'll continue to go either until they get to the enemy's base and try to take it down, or until they get close enough to an enemy unit, and then they'll detour and engage them in battle. So overall, it is pretty simplistic. However, I found the gameplay loop just pretty addictive. Like, I had to think, but not to an overwhelming point where I had to be some micromanaging master like back when I played StarCraft. So, it's a little bit more fun, a little bit more casual. However, the competition can be pretty fierce when you're playing PvP. Churning out a ton of units very quickly can be countered rather easily. If you know a unit can attack flying vehicles, well then chase them down with some ships. You can also strategically spawn in some units at the right time and place to help redirect the enemy from making it to your base. Now overall, I would enjoy a little bit more complexity here, and it's still very possible we'll see new features later down the road, as like I said, this is just an early alpha build. But let's spend a minute focusing on the units currently available in this game. Okay, so this screen right here shows the basic units that you start the game with, plus many of additional units that you can unlock over time. Each have their own very specific attributes. This has the typical stuff like health pool, movement, and attack speed, but where the strategic element comes into place is their specific damage capabilities against certain units. Some are much more effective at attacking the air, ground, or building base units. This also makes your characters more efficient at things like offense or defense. So when these characters or vehicles clash in battle, it's almost like its own little mini Pokemon fight. You want to make sure to have the right guy for the right job. Now, I haven't unlocked too many units just yet, and you have the options here to organize by unit type. So if you find yourself needing more aerial supremacy, you could focus on those units. Currently, I upgraded my defense bases, but I really want to unlock some of those special abilities like dropping a nuke. Now, overall, this is a nice looking game. The RTS genre in general isn't known for having some exceptional graphics, so I wasn't expecting too much there, but overall, they nailed the aesthetic. The worlds look good. The units make sense. Like if you zoom down and look at some of the units, you can go, okay, I bet that's some, hulking unit. You know what you're going to get from it. It's a hulking melee guy. Yeah, he's going to go and punch things. That's a heavy duty tank that's moving slow. Yeah, I bet you it's going to blast pretty damn hard. So they kind of nailed the overall aesthetics. I like the way the worlds look. Sometimes you get space in the background. All pretty cool. I would like to see some more effects, maybe like meteors falling down from the sky, stuff like that. Also some bigger weapons that you can use in game. Like, come on, we like tactical nukes and space satellite lasers. That stuff would be fantastic. I'd love to see that included. But overall, graphically, it looks good. It works well, but I really want to talk more about the gameplay. In single player, the levels start off quite small and the challenges are fairly easy. But this changes over time. The levels get much bigger with multiple different walking routes. Now, spawning in units has both a time and resource delay. There's a specific amount of time before you can put the same unit back into combat, and bigger units obviously cost more. So overall, you're balancing multiple different elements. When should you drop some units? How many should you drop? What combination of units will be the most successful? And finally, do you have to spend some units to react to an immediate attack? The balance shifts rather quickly in this game because the enemy bases are quite formidable. So even if you were able to overpower your enemy and get multiple units to their base, they'll most likely still get gunned down, and you'll have to continually succeed like this until you've eliminated the enemy's defenses. Now, I actually really enjoy the back and forth nature of this game and find it like oddly addictive. It's a weird contrast because on the surface, this game is not super immersive. It's not super challenging. It's not super cinematic. You know, everything we look for isn't really there, but the gameplay is solid and holds up and just, you know, has my brain thinking the entire time. I get sucked in. And when I'm like, hey, I'll just do one more round, something like 90 minutes goes by. I've done a couple rounds. So it's rather interesting in that way. I guess it's a bit of that nostalgia, the, you know, lack of the RTS genre, whatever it may be. But I do find the overall gameplay, you know, just addictive, and it doesn't tire me out like some other VR games. So that was a cool little bonus for an old dude like me. But on that note, it seems like these are the obvious places for improvement when the game comes to its final release. Again, I'm currently playing an alpha demo version, and the game's not slated till sometime in 2024. So if you're looking to improve anything, up the cinematics, up the graphics, up, you know, just some of the overall craziness, like I said, with those lasers and explosions, just to get your heart beating a little bit more. The RTS genre was also originally known for cinematic cutscenes. I don't see that happening here, but I would love to see something like that. I used to love beating a level in either Command and Conquer or Warcraft or StarCraft, and then just like seeing the cool cutscene, sitting back, it's almost like a reward. I would love to get something like that, but that's rarely in the budget for smaller VR titles. You don't make your money off of cinematics, unfortunately. Now, I just want to show off a few more gameplay clips and then ask you guys a final question at the end of this video.
All right, out in space. I'm gonna drop them right in there. Now, also placing guys like starting them way back. Actually, sometimes.
Okay, so like I promised, here's the question. What do you guys think about this game? Are you interested in playing RTS titles in VR? Do you think that'd be something good? What do you think they need to improve? Obviously, there's a great opportunity for feedback for the developer. Now, what do you like? What don't you like? Drop it down in the comments. I'm sure they would love to hear it, and I always love answering your questions. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. And as always, I'll see you guys on next time.